Hey everyone, welcome to the AllBrands show. I'm Barbara from AllBrands.com, and I'm so excited. We have a special guest today, Sue O'Berry from Sookie Sews, and we're going to be talking about some of her new creations. And she uses a Bernina and a Burnett serger to do those on. I can't wait to introduce you to her, but before we do that, we are going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this broadcast, so please comment hashtag AllBrands.com to be eligible to win a $25 allbrands.com e-gift card that you can use on our website or in any one of our 7 locations throughout Louisiana and Texas. So without further ado, I can't wait to bring in my friend, Sue O'Berry. Hey, Sue.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for inspiring us all to sew and serge and embroider. I would love it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited and looking forward to chatting and talking about all the things that are new.
Yeah. So you're in Florida. You're in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
Nancy is also watching from Florida. So
hi, Nancy.
And Cindy King. Hey, Cindy. My goodness.
Hi, Cindy.
So good to see everyone. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your brand, and how did you get started, and what was your journey?
Well, I remember being probably around 7 or 8, and that's when I learned how to sew. It was probably like many from Barbie doll clothes, which now that I look back at it is so tiny, and like it's crazy that we actually could sew like armholes and whatever. But yeah, so I started that, and then probably I got into sewing clothing and garments when I was in my early teens. And then randomly, that's when I finally heard that my dad's mother, my grandmother, who had been passed away since, he was a teenager, but that's when I discovered that she was actually a designer in New York City. And for whatever reason, my brain was just like, oh, this is my destiny, like I have to follow this path. But it was kind of that really inspired me to propel forward and really turn it into a career. I went to college for fashion design. I worked as a costume designer. I worked as a small leather goods designer. I've traveled all over the world working for different companies. I've worked for Harley Davidson doing ladies wear. I've had a really full career. And then my daughter is just around 15 years old. And when I found out I was pregnant, in my mind, I started like backpedaling, like, okay, I don't want to have to work for corporate anymore. What can I do? And I had worked in the home sewing industry. I was a shop manager as well. And I started thinking, okay, how can I really figure this out so that I can be a mom first and then make some money? And that's when I got back into the home sewing industry and started my brand, which at the time was Sealed with a Stitch. And now it's turned into Sookie Sews in the last 4 years, and that's where it's kind of landed at, where I love sewing, machine embroidery, and sergers. Like sergers have been my passion for the last couple of years.
I feel like I'm a weirdo because I love sergers so much.
Well, we're weirdos together because I'm there with you. I am.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny you were talking about like your first serger, or we were talking about Julian from Julian Creates, and I love Julian. He's my buddy. And my first serger, I was 13, almost 14 years old. I think it might have been a birthday gift. And I remember driving like an hour and a half to go to the store. We picked up some crummy little, probably $100 used, probably from the 70s, like, whatever. I bring it all the way back home. And I was like, wow, this blade is cutting. How's it doing it? And I took it all apart. And then, of course, we had to drive back another hour and a half so that we could get the technician to put it back together.
Oh, wow.
I've always been fascinated with sergers, though.
Oh, my gosh. And what fashion school did you go to?
It's so funny. They're no longer here in Tampa anyways, but it was the International Academy of Merchandising and Design. Oh, wow. And yeah, so I got a degree in fashion design, and I've always had it. It's funny though, like, your life changes, and I don't make as many clothes anymore because my mission, my purpose in life is to teach. I love educating. And as it is right now, my customers, my students, prefer to learn more in the hoop projects. They prefer more serger projects. So I'm here to deliver what I can for them. So I don't really sew as much for myself like I used to, but that's okay. I love it.
So you were at BU and you just recently saw this new one right here.
Oh,
My new
that
best
beauty.
friend, our B990 from
Yes.
Bernina. They just started shipping. Some of our folks have VIP pre-orders, and they're starting to allocate those to come in. And I'm like so excited for
Yeah.
those to get their machines and for us to teach them how to use it because it's so easy to use. And I hear you're getting an upgrade.
I am. Well, right now I'm not able to get the 990, but I am getting the 790 Pro.
That's
So I'm
amazing.
really excited about that because my 790 Plus has served me well, but I am trading it in and I'm getting the 790 Pro.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe in a year I'll upgrade to the, the 990. But right now I'm excited to get that because of all like just the threader and the the rescaling, and there's like so many things in there. There's so many things that I don't even know what it does yet. I'm embarrassed to say.
Well, you just touched one of my favorite features on that is it has the best needle threader on a Bernina. It's amazing. It's very similar to the one on the B990.
Nice.
And it also has the it has the laser on it.
That
allows you to line things up that we showed a little bit on the 990 last Thursday, if you folks were watching. And it has like a 4-point morph. So if you have like a square that's not perfectly square, who's ever guilty of that? Me, because I never cut, as hard as I try, I never cut straight. And if I put an embroidery design that's a square on top of it, it's just not going to fit. This machine literally stretches the embroidery design to fit into that square. It's amazing.
It's mind-blowing. It's just so cool how our technology has changed over the time. Oh, I just saw somebody pop something up.
Oh yeah, Courtney does our behind the scenes. Hey Linda. And Linda's one of our subscribers and she was showing it yesterday. And I forgot what she was showing. You have to remind me, Linda, because I saw that.
I did get to see it at BU, and it was amazing. But I was there showing my new products, and so the dealers were really there, getting to see it. So I was kind of like looking over over everyone's shoulder. Oh, and Laura, you have the the 790 Pro. So I'll be part of your club soon. And, give me a month and then I'll know how to use it. Give me a couple of weeks. I'll start playing with it and then it'll be back probably right where that one is. So yes, I'm excited.
Kathy says, it's so great that you could set up a successful business. We didn't talk about how you create embroidery designs and files and patterns and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been digitizing since college because my graduation gift from college, my dad actually bought me. And for those of you that remember this, I mean, as a show of hands, how long have you had an embroidery machine? So my first embroidery machine, I would have been, I guess, 19 years old, 19, yeah, right in there. So, and I am 48 on Sunday. It's my birthday on Sunday. So I've had one since then. And I'm trying to think, 96 is when I graduated. So yeah, that long. And my graduation gift was the Singer, I think it was called the Singer EU. And it was like a 3x3 hoop.
I remember that
machine.
Only because I've grown up in this business. I remember that. Oh my goodness. It was like one of the first embroidery machines for the home market.
So like that long ago, and the software was all based in DOS. And so like you had to know stuff that you could pay me $1,000 right now and I wouldn't know how to do it because our brains aren't programmed that way anymore. But that's how I learned how to digitize. And I guess I just kind of got the bug. I really liked it. And then over the years I have, as software comes out, I've traded up and I've got new things. And then 3 years ago, it was given the honor of being Bernina's V9 software expert. So it was a big campaign and there was a video and they flew me to Chicago. And so, yeah, anyways, that's the software I use now is the Bernina V9.
I want to learn more about the V9 software so that I can do the wireless. I don't know which side it's on. The wireless transfer of designs which your machine is going to be wireless too.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is really exciting.
Yeah.
Wireless transferring of designs from the computer to the machine.
Yeah, it'll make it nice. I mean, just anything to make things more streamlined.
Right. I keep telling everyone, like, do you remember VHS tapes? Yeah, well, those went away, and then they were replaced by the better storage device, which was a CD.
Exactly.
And then the CDs went away because the better storage device was the USB stick. And guess what? The USB stick is going to go away eventually, and now everything is what they call cloud-based. So like, it's a very efficient way to hold data and send and retrieve data. So
yeah,
the future.
It's the way of the future. I know. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I have a full line. If you go to SookieSews.com, and I know that you all sell a lot of my embroidery designs, and you have for years. So thank you always so much for supporting my small business. But I do everything from, when it comes to digitizing, from the arts to the digitizing to, I finally have a nice group of test sewers, which is really great. But I write my own instructions, do video, do the production. I'm what they call a solo entrepreneur.
That's
and I really like it. It's funny because recently I've kind of been investing into my business and investing into more, just business courses. And one of the questions was, what kind of business do you want? Do you want it to be this and, have multiple this and whatever? And I actually stepped back and said, you know what? I really like being a solo entrepreneur. I like being able to communicate with my students and customers and my dealers, be able to be the one that answers those questions, and it's manageable. And so I've always enjoyed it, and I like it.
That's wonderful. Oh my goodness. So I'm so excited to see what you have to offer. I'm going to make you full screen so that you can show everyone. And if anyone has any questions, I'm here. My audio is going to be on, so we can, I'll ask you questions as they come up in the comments. How about that?
Sounds good. Okay. Sounds good. Well, I think we'll start with the serger patterns, because I have 3 new serger patterns that I showed at Bernina University. And one of them is already finished and out the door. And the other 2 have just had a little bit of a delay because it's summertime and my test sewers and just kind of finishing things up. But if you look behind me on my table right here, you can actually see that I've got some work in progress going. And then over here, I've got my Bernina L890, and I forgot I did turn it on because I'm using it today. But the one pattern that is available right now, ready to go, actually comes with a video course, because I feel like with sergers, it's very useful to be able to see. It's great to see it in writing, but 65% of creatives are visual learners. So if we can have it explained to us with more than just an image or a diagram, it seems to be more successful. So the new patterns will all include a free or complimentary video course. So the first one is the Serenity Serger Spa Set, and it's an eye mask. And so I'm not going to put it on because it'll mess up my mascara.
It's so cute. I love it so much.
Really, and you look at it, you go, oh, that's no big deal. It's super simple. With a serger, though, we have to keep in mind that sergers, they cut, right? The blade goes up and down and it cuts. So sergers sew straight, really, really good. But if you want it to do any curves or any of that, there's lots of tricks to it. So in this particular pattern, you're going to learn how to go around outside curves and also inside curves. You're also going to be learning how to work with different materials. We've got the cuddle, we've got a nice satin. Of course, you can use flannel and cotton if you want to. And then we're also going to talk about how to add the elastic. So that's one piece of the pattern. The other is actually my favorite. I love making these, and it's the little spa headband. So this is designed to go over and pull your hair back if you are, like, I use mine for makeup every night, or not makeup, like my skincare. And so this, again, lots of things to learn. And I would say the biggest is learning how to sew over all of these layers, because if you look here, it's actually constructed with a tube, another tube, and then everything is put together right there. So you're stitching over multiple layers and thick materials. So in this particular project, there are lots of little things to discover about your serger, but also about threads and materials, and it's a lot of fun. So this is the Serenity Serger Spa Set. And like I said, Barbara, this comes with a full video course. So are there any questions about that?
Okay, so they literally get you in the box with it. like you tutorialing them. Is that a word? Showing them how to use it, you know,
yes.
when they purchase it, like you come with it.
Yes. You know what? That's a really good way to say it, because I love teaching.
Trying to say, this is how I'm going to help you. That's wonderful.
Yes, I love it. So,
I can't tell you how many times I've been in the middle of a pattern and I'm like, what? Because like I'm a visual, like you said, I'm a visual learner, and like I have a video. That's really helpful. Okay, so let me go to questions. Okay. Here. Can you only use a serger for this project?
A good question. So the project is designed as a serger pattern. And so I would say that cutting the material is going to be part of it. Otherwise, there would be some raw edges, and that way you would maybe just only a little parts of it. But it has been tested on a sewing machine. However, the instructions are geared toward a serger. Can you do it? Absolutely. But you're on your own for settings.
I have several other questions that we're going to leave to the end that aren't specific to the pattern. So if you want to go to the next one, that would be great.
Yes. Okay. So I have to back up for the next one because it's a crazy patch, a crazy quilt tray liner. And it is, so I'm going to take it out of the tray, but this is just like a traditional breakfast tray. So everybody sees the tray, right?
I love it.
So now I'm going to put the tray aside and just pull out the liner. So this was actually inspired by one of my besties, Mary Catherine. And so I ended up calling it the Catherine Crazy Quilt Tray Liner. And truly, it is very simple. But I didn't want to just say, okay, put right sides together and stitch and open up. I really went into detail on this one. And I would say this is one where the video is really going to be even more useful than the instructions. So it's nice that it'll be coming with it. There's a whole section dedicated to all these extra things. I mean, there's like 15 things that I'm going to cover that aren't even in the instructions that you're going to learn from the video. Because again, sometimes it's just easier to see it. So, but really, it starts with your center block, which has 5 sides. And then you go from there by adding. So like we've got these two here, you would put right sides together. We are using a flat lock stitch, and we are using, and we're going to talk about thread in a minute, but all of this that you see here, that real thick stitching, is a 12 weight cotton thread. It's an Egyptian cotton thread from Wonderfill. So we'll talk about that in a minute because I've actually got boxes of thread I'm going to share with you too, Barbara. But you put all this together, and then inside is a really thin, lightweight fusible batting. And on the back side is just a really pretty, I did use batiks for this, but you can use any materials, of course. And then on the back is the batik that kind of coordinates here. And then what I'm really excited about, I'm going to try and find a section to show and zoom in, but around the outside, let's see if you can see it. Around the outside is also a flat lock stitch. Yeah, it kind of wants to focus in and out.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Pretty red up close.
So I'm calling this the cotton candy stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do this. I will say that with the Bernina L890 serger, it can go up to the width of 9. And I'm not sure what other sergers can do that, but I'm going to give instructions on how to, I think most sergers go up to the width of 6, which really the width on a serger is what from the needle to where the blade cuts. That's the width, because our serger only sews straight. It doesn't have a zigzag, right? So the width is from the needle to where the blade is. So on the Bernina L890, I gotta say, it's really cool. The width can go out to 9 millimeters. Having said that, this stitch right here can just add like a really nice, I call it a cotton candy stitch because I use a fluffy thread. Like, remember the days of woolly nylon?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a fluffy thread. And then also we've got 2, in fact, I was going to say, I think it's threaded for that, but it is not. But it's also got 2 of the 12 weight cotton threads and then a standard thread. So the instructions are going to show how to make the basic, like the measurements will be geared toward a basic tray liner. This is kind of like a universal size. However, in the video, we're going to go into detail how to make it for a table runner or for a pillow or for whatever. So once you learn the technique and the tricks on getting a perfect flat lock stitch and everything, all the good stuff, then you can have a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about this one right here. And this should be finished, I'm going to say by next week. I think I've got it scheduled for next week to be finished. So that's the second pattern. You ready for that? We have any questions about that?
We have a lot of comments.
Okay.
Love it.
Thanks, Brenda. Thank you,
Kimberly. I love it. Super unique. And here's a question.
Okay.
Will these patterns work with other sergers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So may I say something really quick, Barbara?
Mm-hmm.
Serger patterns are very different from a sewing pattern. Like if you buy a pattern to make, let's just say you're going to make a cute little zipper bag. With a sewing machine, there's a level of expectation that you know how to use your machine. You know how to sew a straight stitch. You know how to create a zigzag. So really it'll just kind of tell you how to make the bag. Here's the pattern. Here are the instructions. With a serger pattern, you're learning how to use your serger. You're learning about thread. You're learning about needles. You're learning about width and length and differential feed and pressure and like all these things and presser feet. And that's what takes so long to design a serger pattern. Like an in the hoop pattern, I mean, I can get one of those out in no time. But a serger pattern, I probably put about 200 hours of design work and remaking it. Because so to answer the question about can you use it on another brand? Absolutely. I will always reference the serger I have. However, it's pretty generic in the sense that I'll give a name of it. And then of course I'm just an email away if people have questions.
Awesome. Barbara chimed in on this. Barbara, hey, I just saw her in Houston last weekend and she just said that now she's somewhere in Florida. So she was by me and now she's by you. She says serger projects are the best. And Barbara has an L890 to my knowledge. She says these will help with overlocker anxiety.
I like that. Yes. The idea is I have a lot of serger patterns. I think when I finish with these, I think it's like 18 serger patterns. Some are super basic, super beginner friendly, and others are a little more advanced. And I got a lot of requests last year to bring more, I don't want to say basic, but like beginner friendly, anxiety friendly, just things that are going to make you feel really good. When you're done with these projects here, you're going to feel really good about yourself, your relationship with your serger. You're going to become friends and you're going to be ready to tackle something else, especially with the video. The video just makes it so much easier.
Margaret says she loves your
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. And Scrapping says, I might have to invest in a serger. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You're amazing. I don't know what I would do without my serger.
I know. And it's one of those things where I don't know, and I was thinking about something. Well, you can see my dog in the background there. I was thinking about something because since I've had a serger since I was like 13 or 14 years old, I feel like there's that anxiety I don't have. However, at my age, when I'm starting something brand new that I've never done before, I get it. I get that like, that feeling in my chest, like, oh gosh, I'm going to start this new hobby or this new craft. And I don't know anything about it. So as a friendly reminder, we're all beginners somewhere at some point.
That's so true. I love that. Oh my goodness.
It's like, I get that feeling though. It's like, I get it. So it's okay. But it's nice to have a teacher on the other side that's there who gets it and understands. And again, I am just an email away and I'm the one who checks the emails and I will be there to help you out if you get stuck. So that's my promise to you all. So, you ready to see the last one?
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay, so this one was inspired by the belt loop attachment. So Bernina I think in September is when they're officially going to be released. I was given permission to talk about it, but the attachment is there's going to be 3 of them and they come in different sizes. And it basically takes a piece of material, which I don't actually have a piece of material to demonstrate this with, but I'm just going to show you this right here. So you've got a piece of material and it's going to fold it inwards. So like and turn it like that and create a belt loop. I'll show you in just a moment. So there's 3 different sizes. There's going to be a 10 millimeter size. You can kind of see right here. And then there is a 15 millimeter. So now you can see the 2 differences, the size there.
Oh, wow.
And then the last one is going to be the 20 millimeter. And it also shows on the attachment itself, you can see right there, see how it says 20 and 40? So 20 is the final size and 40 is what size you'll cut your material. So if you think of it, it's going to be like flat like this. And when it folds in, the materials, the raw edges will just kiss. And what happens is, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like. And I actually have this one wrapped around fabric. So let me just show you right here. So here's the front. It's going to create, we're going to use a 2 needle cover stitch. So the back looks like, trying to get it in focus here for you all. Sorry about the focus there.
No worries.
Here we go.
Oh, perfect.
So cover stitch on the back and 2 needles on the top. And this one I wrapped around a piece of batting. So it's wrapped around a thin piece of batting. So the way that it works is you have your attachment, and then what's really cool, this will just attach to the base of the machine, but you're limited by what it can do. It's just going to stay right there. Whereas on the Bernina L890, you have the ability, and this is something you have to purchase separate. This does not come with the machine, but this attaches to the base of the machine. Let's see if I can show you here. It attaches like this, and then it has like a little elbow. And then this is going to stay flat. And then you would attach this to this part here. So what's cool about this is now you can remove it as you're stitching. And I promise I'm going to have lots of videos on this, so stay tuned. But then this screw right here will allow you to go side to side. And then this screw right here goes forward and back. So when you lay this on the machine, you're able to get the stitching, like you can't even see where the 2 raw edges are right here. Like you can't even see it, probably right there. Like you can't even see where the raw edges of the material are because they kiss so good, and it's because of the adjustments. So it's called the belt loop folder, and you can pre-order them for all of you that have the L890. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, I'd have to double check with Pam Mashi from Bernina, but I'm pretty sure that these will work on other brands too. But I don't want to say that for sure. But the idea is that we're going to create for this last pattern. I'm so excited about this. So I got a set of these about a month before Bernina University, and I was challenged like, okay, Sue, do something cool and creative with it. Like, okay, all right, well, I could do some things I've seen in the past, but I'm going to challenge myself. So I made a ton of these strips because I was sent these. And then after a week, Pam said, okay, so you got to send them to the next person. So I had 1 week. So I made like 150 of these strips. I fed the batting. I fed the batting inside here, right here, and then the material wrapped. And then what happens is it comes through the other side. And then I make these. So I made like 150 of these, just lots and lots of them. And then I sat on them for a couple of days, and I looked at them and I did some sketches. And this is what I ended up coming up with. We start with a basic shape like a hexagon. So here are 2 hexagon shapes. One has a flat top and one has a pointed top. And then I added the strips here to the front. And I made all these strips, and then to attach the strips to this back material, and just so you know, there's a piece of batting inside here, I laid them, and then I did cover stitch to attach them. So this is what they end up looking like. And these are just like a mug rug size, little. But what you do is once you have the basic shape, you can create more. And then it's really simple. Once you have the basic shape, so here's the basic shape, and then you would just measure up 5 inches, and now 5 inches here, 5 inches here, or whatever the measurements are in the pattern. And then now you have a placemat. And what's really cool, and I don't have it over here because it's big, but I made a rug. And if you have an image there, Barbara, but the rug, and then that's where the dog's on it.
But is it online somewhere? I'm going to look for
it. It's on the cover of the pattern, and you can see that it's, yeah, like it's really big. But you can make these any size. So once you learn the technique of creating your strips and how I attach it and all the layering, once you learn that, you could literally make anything. So this will be the first pattern. I've got some others in the works. I've got a tote bag I'm working on, like a beach bag. I got to tell you, sometimes, like, as a pattern designer, remember I said just a few minutes ago that my job is to teach. My mission in life is to pass along my knowledge and help people out. That's what I do. That's what I do for a living, is I help, right? But, and sometimes sometimes though, I get lost in what I'm doing. And sometimes I sit there and go, oh my goodness, I'm having so much fun. When I was making all of these, I had so much fun. I had the radio going. I was just in my zone. I was stitching. I was having like just a lot of fun. And then once you lay them on here and you start stitching these, and then you relax and you're just stitching, you know, you want to get to know your serger. Let me tell you, you're going to get to know your serger with this project. It does require a cover. It says, yes. So there you go. So there's Kiwi on the rug. So you can see, and she's about a 14-pound dog. So she's not a huge dog, but she's not a teeny tiny one. And you can make this whatever size you want. But at BU, we had this to show. And as soon as I pointed to it, the dealers were like, that is so cool. How did you do that? The entire thing, Barbara, is made with a serger. The entire thing. You will need a cover stitch and a chain stitch, and you do need the attachment. Wow. But let me tell you, this is one of those that you can just escape and you can stitch and you can make it. And I will tell you this, you don't need 150 of these. I just needed to make a bunch because I was losing the attachment. So yeah, however many, you don't need a lot even to make this.
The texture of it just makes me happy. Not only I love your colors that you chose, by the way, they go together so nicely, but I just love that texture of having the individual like belt. And then, so we did have a question.
Yes.
Is there batting under the first fabric? Can you kind of explain that again?
Yes. So we're going to make the strip. So it is going to be a piece of batting and really what happens is, and let me show you here. So here's how the attachment will look on the machine. You would feed a piece of batting through here and then the material on top of it. And then the fabric wraps around the batting. So that's really what you're seeing here. That's what you're seeing. You've got the batting and then there's the fabric wrapped around it. So I'm just going to really quick, I'm just going to like clip this so that I can show you. Because I looked around and, you know, I made them all and I don't have any that are even like half done. So here I'm ripping this out just so you can see. So see the fabric wrapped around the batting. And then the other side would be right here. So let's just go ahead and rip this one. Just going to kind of rip this out so that you can see.
So there's no turning it inside out and then trying to.
Instead of turning it inside out, yes. So there's a piece of batting in all of the tubes. And I did use a really light, thin batting. It's a thin fusible. It's from, oh boy, I can't think of the name of it right now. Dream Fusible, I think. But any of the really thin ones, honestly, the OESD, I don't know if you saw OESD, but they have a really thin fusible batting that would also work really good. And then what you do is you're going to take the strips that you've created and you're going to lay it over top of a piece of batting beneath it and kind of sandwich it together. Oh, great way to use up leftover batting. Yes. And you don't need a lot, really. I mean, even this little thing here, this little mug rug. And once you're all finished and you have them kind of glued on there, I did use a fabric glue, and I'm just going to peekaboo here and show you. So you can see that. Let me use it with like this one here in between these. Do you see that right there? See the batting that you can see, but you won't see it when it's laying flat. I'm also playing, like I said, this pattern will be out in a couple of weeks, and I'm still waiting for test sewers to get back. Some of the comments from the test sewers were really good, so that's what happens sometimes. I make it and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then one of my test sewers will be like, well, did you think about this? I'm like, I didn't.
We have a request for a close-up of the back, please.
Oh, yes. Okay. So let me show you this first. So then you attach these strips to the batting and the backing all together with a cover stitch. So then it looks like this.
Oh,
So
I love it.
it looks pretty on the back as well. And then can you see let's see, you see the stitching right here? That's a chain stitch. So once you have this finished and you're going to faux do the binding. So it's kind of faux binding wrapped around, mitered in the corner.
Oh,
And
wow.
then
And do you have instructions on this one as well?
Oh yeah, this one has instructions, a pattern. Well, yeah, pattern pieces and printed instructions, or if whatever, you'll have actual instructions. But then the video is just going to be invaluable because you're going to actually get to see it in detail and close up, and yeah.
Linda says, I'd love to see that in action. Well, if
I know.
Pattern, you can.
Stay tuned. Yeah, so if you order the patterns, Barbara, you all can order them now. And then, like I said, it's probably just going to be another week or two.
Wonderful. I went ahead and I put the product pages on our website. And if you click the link in the description of this video, everything that we're talking about today is available to purchase now. And then when it's available, we'll ship it to you automatically.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you were going to talk to us a little bit about some thread. Did you have that to show?
I do. So I am really excited because I have my own boxes of thread, and they are serger related. I have 2 of them. For those folks out there that are serger users, 12-weight cotton thread has just taken over. It's amazing. My favorite is Wonderfill. It's called Spaghetti. And so my first box that I'm going to show you is the Spaghetti Wonderfill thread, and it is kind of in my, Sookie Sews color range. Very, we've got some real pretty, peaches creams. We've got this gold, which I use so much in projects. And then we've got a few other colors. I think this one's it's kind of like a dark brown. I don't know if you can see that, but really good general colors, got a feminine touch to them. And then I just have to show you the packaging. I was so proud of everything. Everything came out so nice.
I love bees so much. Is there a particular reason why you chose bees?
Well, bees is my logo. I've loved bees for as long as I can remember. And yeah, I love bees. So bees is my logo and my branding. And then I call, the sewing bee is when people would get together and sew. But I refer to my students as sewing bees. So yeah.
I love gardening, and I just love watching.
Oh, nice.
They're just amazing creatures.
Well, this one's called the Beehive. This particular is called the Beehive, and this is the Spaghetti. And they're really, I don't have the price. I think you all have the price on them, but they're really affordable. And you get, all these different spools here, good colors. And most importantly, you get a chance to test it out, try out these threads. These threads here can be used in the loopers. I'm trying to get it to not glare, but these can be used in the loopers and the needle. If you use it in the needle, I do recommend that you go up to a 90-14 serger needle. But other than that, it's still.
I've had the pleasure of serging with Wonderfill thread, and I can tell you there is a noticeable difference with the quality, and just the way that it just feeds through the machine is beautiful. It just everything lays correctly. I don't know what it is, but it's like the magic thread for the LED.
I agree. And it's family owned too, which I think I love that so much. And so I work with the owner's daughter, when we were designing these, it's just, they're good people, good quality thread. I'll talk about this in a second too, but I literally refer to this thread as magic thread. If you're having problems and you want a really pretty overlock stitch or like a rolled hem and you've tried other threads, I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong with the Spaghetti. You can't go wrong. It's amazing. And I think that's why when I chose my colors, I also included the green and the red, because for Christmas, holidays, the red and the gold are just going to be really great colors that you can use for the holidays too. Thank you, Pamela. And then the other box of thread is called Fluffy Bee. So for those of you that have been in the world of serging for a while, you've probably heard of woolly nylon. So woolly nylon is that thread that fluffs up. If you are not familiar with it, you probably on your body, Not to get too personal, but right now you probably have it on you, because on most ladies' panties and the inside, that thread that's touching our skin is made with the fluffy thread. However, woolly nylon has been around forever, but it's nylon. So if you touch it with an iron and it's too hot, it will melt, or it could burn, or it could get stiff. So this thread, same beautiful color range. In fact, I love this kind of like gray taupey color, but really good colors that are going to work with all sorts of projects. These are out of polyester, which means that it is washable. You can throw it in with colors. It's not going to color bleed. That's another thing with nylon. Sometimes it's not, really great with color bleeding. But you can iron this. You don't have to worry about your temperature when you're even putting it in the dryer. And so this is called the Fluffy Bee, and it's going to have these threads for the wooliness. So here's the thing, Barbara, when I was showing you my crazy patch, this is got, I want to try and find a place where you can really see it. Let's try and do that again. At the top here, you'll see this has 2 of the spaghetti threads. So we've got 2 of these, and then we have 1 of these in the looper. I don't know if you're seeing my box. So we've got 1 of these, and we have 2 of
the fluffy
threads.
Oh, 2 regular, 1 fluffy.
So 2 of the spaghetti and 1 of the fluffy threads in there. So you're getting this. That's why I call it cotton candy stitch. It's my own little thing. It fluffs up and it kind of explodes, but in a really beautiful way. Oh, I got to calm down because I'm just going to get too excited here.
Okay, we are all loving Wonderful. It's wonderful thread.
Fluffy threads, the best colors. Yeah, Wonderful does have really great colors. So yeah, those are my 2 boxes.
So your style is so fun and uplifting, and just
thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I'm excited about these thread boxes, and so please do, like, when you're supporting, for all of you that are watching, just think of this, like, if you buy these boxes of thread, you are supporting AllBrands, right? You're supporting Sookie Sews. You're also supporting Wonderful, who is a family-owned business. So I just, I can't thank you enough for even, considering it and watching this, because it really does mean a lot to me.
Aw, you're amazing.
And then, are we ready to talk about the big thing?
Yes.
Okay. So 4 years ago, I wrote a really great book. It is my publisher's, one of their #1 books. It is called The Pocket Guide to Stabilizers. Now, I know we're talking about sergers today, but as I mentioned, machine embroidery has been a passion of mine for a long time. This is a great book. It is going to give you the basics of hooping, needles, threads, stabilizers, obviously, as in the title. And I reference 5 different brands of stabilizers, and I break it down really simple. And it's got 56 pages. And on the very last couple of pages is like a little cheat sheet that will help you with whatever. And I gotta be honest, like, if you do this every day and that's all you do is machine embroidery, you're gonna just know this stuff, right? Because you do it all the time. But I don't even embroider every day, and this is what I do for a living. So recently I had to embroider something, and I was like, oh yeah, let me see. Oh wait, let me look at my book. Like, we forget this stuff, right? So in the book I talk about like different hooping methods, stabilizers, just, like even using, I don't know if you all sell sew tights or have you used sew tights, but I talk about how to use those in machine embroidery. So anyways, I'm only showing you all this because this book has done so well. My publishers came to me a year ago and said, Sue, what else you got? Because we love your books and they're doing really good. I have another book on notions as well. However, they were like, what else do you have? What would you like to write a book on? And I said, absolutely, sergers. So coming in November is going to be the Pocket Guide to Sergers. It's going to be the same little size, like a 4x6, fits in your purse, fits in the drawer next to your sewing station, whatever. It's going to be just the size. It's actually going to have like an extra 15 pages, though. I think it's going to be like 70 pages in the new one. It is going to be, I'm so proud of it. It is my best work I've ever done, except for making my child. Like, this is the best quality work I've ever done. But we go from, if you're a novice, in fact, there's a whole chapter dedicated on if you don't have a serger. So somebody mentioned earlier, Barbara, in the comments, like, maybe I need a serger. Well, guess what? In this book, We're going to talk about that and what you need to consider, and all the way into troubleshooting. We talk about attachments, presser feet, threads, needles, different stitches. There's a whole chapter dedicated to combining stitches. It's really good. So sign me up. Great. So this is going to be released. The publisher has told me that the release date is November 14th, but I've seen it listed different places. So
we have it on our website too. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and purchase it now.
Pre-buy it now. So it's not going to come in the mail right now, right? But when it's available, so please do pre-order it from AllBrands. It's I'm really excited about this book. And in there, I do talk about the threads, and I even talk about machine embroidery threads and how you can use those. There's lots of different notions too that I recommend or reference. So I'm so excited about it.
I'm so excited. I noticed a lot of serger books recently got discontinued or are out of print. And I'm like, how are people going to look up how to use a serger? Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
My pleasure.
And intuitive.
My pleasure.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yes, it's going to be great. So pre-order it now. Order it from the website right now. You can take care of that.
Oh,
so
Lonnie had a question here. Hey Lonnie, I saw you this weekend. Oh my gosh.
Hi Lonnie.
Yeah, Lonnie and I were at the Houston Grand Opening last Saturday. I need a book for serger feet. So if you have a Bernina serger, the big book of serging and the big book of feet.
Yeah.
We need to get you into those because those are amazing. And use our 20% off coupon for Bernina accessories. It's in Bernina on our website in the checkout, and any Bernina eligible accessory will be 20% off.
Yeah. And too, with that, Barbara, when they get the book in the very back, like this is my, for this one here, but in the very back, there's going to be a secret link that will give additional information. There's going to be actually add-on video courses that are going to be completely free with the purchase of the book. So once they get their book, like flip through it, be like, oh, that's as cool. But where's that link she was talking about? And it's going to be right in the back on the very back page. And it's going to bring you to, it's going to be like a series of videos that kind of correspond with the book, to be friends, but it's going to give you a chance to, visually see what I'm talking about.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much. This is great. And congrats on being having a new book released.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's a big deal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, do we have questions? You said there was some questions. Did you want to?
Yes. Okay. So I'll just go in order in which they came in.
Okay.
Start them. So Evelyn asks, because we were talking about the B990 earlier, is that a serger? So the B990 is the latest and greatest sewing, embroidery, and quilting machine by Bernina. And that one's behind me here. It's like all the rage right now. But Sookie has, or Sue has,
same.
Do people call you Sookie?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But Sookie is a nickname. Sookie is a nickname. And I rebranded a few years ago because I will say this, there's a lot of Sues in the sewing world, but there's only one Sookie. So
you know what? There's a lot of Barbaras too. Maybe I should be Barbie.
Yeah. Do that.
Okay.
The B990 is the new top of the line sewing, embroidery, quilting. But the L890 is the serger, and that's the one that's over my shoulder here.
It's a beautiful machine. It's nice. When it came out, I was just so impressed with its quality, and then I got to use it, and then I'm like, okay, this is my serger.
I think that's true too. Like, I mean, you've been in the industry your whole life, right? So have I, pretty much. And so when I see new machines, I'm kind of like, oh, that's cool. But when this came out, I was like, I was hungry for it. I'm like, okay, I want that machine. Like I was like really genuinely impressed. Bernina did a really good job. They got it right. So same with the 990.
We do have a watcher, Ann Philbeck's having some water coming in through her chimney. So everybody send some good thoughts and prayers her way.
Yeah.
For safe. Everybody's letting her know, unplug your sewing machine. Yes, Ann, we're thinking of you. Please be safe. Okay. Next question. Oh, not a question, but Cindy says happy early birthday.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this birthday. I'm okay with it.
Why did I just get, oh, thanks, okay, better? I don't know. I just received my first embroidery machine this past Christmas.
Congratulations.
My goodness.
Embroidery, I'm telling you, it's sometimes hard to decide. Embroidery, serging, I'm glad I don't have to choose. How about that?
So Laura commented that she still has her beloved Bernina Artista, but she has the B9 software. Or V9. Is it V9?
It's V as in Victor, but
love it.
Yeah, good. It's good software. Yeah, they also did a really nice job with that software.
All right, let's see. Another happy birthday came in from Desiree.
Thank you, Desiree. Yeah.
And oh yeah, so Anne is saying this is a great project for her cover stitch. So can you just kind of give us a recap of which ones can they use with the serger and which one require cover?
Okay, so the first project I showed you is going to be a 4-thread overlock. Nice and easy. This can be done with any serger. Any serger that was made after, I'm trying to think, after like the late 80s, I think all sergers after the 80s came with to do a 4-thread overlock. So you're good with this for every serger. This one, same thing. It's actually a 2-thread flat lock wide. So pretty much every serger on the market can do this. And then this one does require the cover stitch. So if you have a cover stitch only, then you can do this, because a cover stitch only machine will do cover stitch and also chain stitch. And I know Bernat has one, and I know there's other brands that have them as well. Of course, you would know more about that than me, Barbara, but yeah. And if you have a combination machine like the L890, because the L890 does overlock and then also cover stitch. And in the book, I cover all of that really good and explain what it all means. So hopefully that helps. So the first two projects are ideal for any machine that's an overlock, 4-thread overlock, and then the others for cover stitch and chain stitch.
Very cool. So I wanted to remind everybody that we are going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this broadcast. So if you just tuned in after I made the first announcement, go ahead and comment #AllBrands, because we'll be doing our giveaway pretty soon for the e-gift card. And I see there's only 50 eligible people and there's over 70 watching. So
hashtag
you haven't #AllBrands.
That is the hashtag. And I see Billy Lou has a question. I don't know where you are on the questions, but is there a difference between cover stitch and a serger? So a serger is a generic term for this type of a machine. So a serger is different than a sewing machine. And so usually a serger is just, like I said, kind of indicates the overlock. So when I think of a serger, I think of something that's going to cut the material and then wrap the threads around the edge, kind of like this right here. Whereas the cover stitch is going to have 2 needles that go straight up and down, and on the back is actually a looper, so it does this kind of motion here, and that's what creates the loops on the back that you're seeing here. But then on the front, you can see all the straight lines. And this is typically, it's either built in like a combination machine where you have the overlocking and the cover stitch, or they're 2 different machines. And that would be something that you can ask the folks.
Yeah. Come to your local sewing machine store and we'd be happy to show you.
Yeah. Go get a demonstration and then you can see it.
If you're wearing a standard shirt right now, like me, and you look at the cuff or the bottom, that's typically your cover hem, and you'll see like 2 stitches. And then if you look at like the inside of the seam here, like that's or the side seam, that's your 4-thread overlock. So
I saw the question too, is the book good for all brands of sergers? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I kept it. Well, here's the thing. It's kind of like if you were learning, so I have an old Toyota. My Toyota, it does what it needs to do, right? I know how to drive with it, and it gets me from point A to point B. It is not fancy. But if I was to get into a fancy Rolls Royce, it still does the same thing. But if I was talking about how to drive a car, it's all the same. With a serger though, it is a little different where I have to at least show you images or show you photos and images, press her feet. So in the book, I reference the Bernina because that's what I have. But yes, it's going to be generic across the board in the sense that a serger is a serger. They all do the same thing. But does my Toyota have, keyless entry? No. So that's kind of the best way I could describe it.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we did have Jan says that she's looking forward to your book.
Thank you, Jan. I promise you it's going to be great. It's funny. I was with a girlfriend and recently having lunch, and I was like, oh, hold on, I got to get my keys. And she starts laughing. She goes, I haven't had keys to anything in so long. I don't have keys to my car or my house. And I'm like, well, aren't you fancy? My car still has keys, and so does my apartment. And it got me to thinking, though, kind of like this, so if you have a fancy top of the line serger, awesome, good. But if you've got maybe someone's, you go to the store and you get like the entry level serger, this book is going to help you work with all of them. It's going to give you the confidence and the insight that you need.
Or maybe if you don't even own a serger yet, but you want to educate yourself before you go in and make that big decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked to see the little book. This is the pocket guide to stabilizers. So the serger book will have the same look. In fact, Barbara, I believe you already have an image of what it's going to look like. But yeah, it's a little book. It's got, I promise you, it's got a lot of images in it, lots of detail. My publisher is very generous with letting me include a lot of pictures, which is really nice. I have to kind of fight for it. When you work with a publisher, they're like, okay, you have 50 pages. And I'm like, really? Can we do like 60? And then before you know, it's like 74 pages or something. How many pictures can I do? I think they told me originally, like, you can do 40 pictures. And I'm like, how about like 82? Is that good? Can we do 82? I have to like kind of like ease them in. But yeah, there's lots of good pictures, and it's going to be lots of good detail. I'm so excited.
Anne says that she has a flannel cap fabric whenever you were showing the belt loop.
Yes.
That she's going to use with the that
flannel. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to I'm like literally going to write that down, because when I do the video, I want to show like some different materials. So thank you for who just mentioned that flannel. Yeah.
We're all here to inspire each other.
Absolutely. I get my best ideas from you all.
Speaking of inspiration, Kimberly wants to know what's the name of your business, but I also want you to tell us, where can we follow you on social media?
So my business is Sookie Sews. I rebranded a few years ago, and it's so funny because I can always tell how long people have known me, because I was Susan forever and ever, right? And then I worked at a company and the boss was named Susan, so I became Sue. And so a lot of people
to change your name.
a lot of people know me as Sue in the industry, Sue O'Very. And then 4 years ago, I rebranded to Sookie Sews for a couple of reasons. But yeah, it's a nickname that I've been called for a long time, and I love it. And so when I'm teaching, I actually prefer to be called Sookie because, again, there's a lot of Sues in the room, and it just makes me happy. It's a happy name. But yeah, Sookie Sews, SOOKIE. SEWS. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I have a Facebook fan club, which is very fun and interactive. It's a great place to post pictures, ask questions, and then YouTube. And I've been a little neglected on YouTube, but we've got, I think, like almost 55,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it will be very heavily focused on sergers the next few months, obviously, because of the launch of the book. So if you want to embrace that serger or wanted to get one, now is going to be a really good time to get on the bandwagon and talk to Barbara and her team about, either getting a new one, brand new, or maybe trading up. There's a lot of options.
Oh, and the L890 is the best.
Love that machine.
It is
yeah,
researcher ever. So if you liked anything that y'all saw today, if you click shop product, I even put the L890 in there if you wanted to do search on sergers. And Sookie, you're also very familiar with the Burnett sergers. They're fantastic, and those really are just online, and they're very price they're good. Like the features for the price can't be beat.
Yeah, you get a lot for your money with the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in fact, I was going to say too, Barbara, that on the We All Sew blog, I'm going to say like 20 something blog posts and free projects on how to make things on your serger.
I'm
The Burnett
obsessed.
and also the Bernina L890. So
I go to We Also all the time. I signed up for the newsletter, so I get reminded of projects, and it
yeah,
really helps keep my like creative juices flowing, which
yeah.
is great. We had one more comment that I'm gonna put on the screen
Okay.
before we conclude our chat for today. But if you haven't yet, go ahead and comment #AllBrands. Diane says, we love your tutorials. Congrats on your new book and wishing you a most blessed birthday.
Thank you so much. And I'll try and go back later and look and see if there's any questions, but and answer them. But if anybody wants to ask me more questions or details, or please go to my website and join my weekly Beehive newsletter. And you can, again, it's sookiesews.com. But if you have any specific questions that I didn't get to here, and you can ask Barbara to pass it along to me, or you could just reach out to me directly.
Yay! Oh my gosh, you're so awesome. I would love to have you on the show again.
Yes, we should do that.
Yes,
I would love that.
We should. Okay, so who wants to win something? Let's go ahead and draw a winner. Let's see who's going to be the lucky winner today.
This is so cool.
Our winner is going to be Karen.
Congratulations, Karen.
Go ahead and email me at events@allbrands.com with your name, number, and address, and I'll send you that e-code to use on our website to save $25 on
Okay, that's really cool. I like that. That's so neat.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you enjoy your birthday, and I can't wait to get my hands on these new patterns and books. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And everybody, thank you for your time. I really do genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah, and I did want to say we have some folks that are affected by rain and hurricanes in the comments. We are sending very good thoughts your way, and I hope everybody's safe and unplug your sewing machines. But number one is you.
Yeah, safety first.
All right, we love you guys. Have a good day.